All right, welcome everyone to the TD Sports Press podcast. And as you can see, the first thing that we are going to discuss is this week's committee rankings, which I am excited to get into. But if you are new to the channel, my name is Trayson Dayton. This is TD Sports Press. Welcome to all the folks that are coming in. Live chat, yep, that's up and running as well. So we got the playoff rankings. We'll be discussing that. We'll be talking about that. We're going to get into some game predictions for this weekend as well. So before we get started, if you guys could hit the subscribe button, it would really help us out. We're trying to get to 30 subscribers by Sunday. We're at 23 subscribers right now. So if we can get to 30 by Sunday, that'd be awesome. Hit the little bell icon so you guys get notified when we're live. We're live Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, right around 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So without further ado, thank you guys. Check out our Twitter as well. Almost 15,000 followers on Twitter over there. So with that being said, let's talk about it right here. We're going to get started with our playoff rankings. If you guys are not here and are on Spotify, the playoff rankings, my biggest overall impression of the playoff rankings is I'm not mad at them. There's a couple things I don't agree on them, but I felt like the last 2 to 3 years with the playoff rankings, there was always something I didn't agree with. And what these rankings are, I like them. It's very close to our own rankings that we do. You guys would know our own rankings. Our own rankings are on TikTok, and you guys can check them out every single night. But, I mean, I look at these like they have Iowa ranked. I think that's great. So, the biggest winners of the college football rankings, in my opinion, would be Utah at number 13. This is really good for the Big 12, I would say. The Big 12 needed this to get, two bids, I would say. And Utah being ranked that high really helps them. Another big winner is the Big 10, having Iowa, USC, and Michigan just lurking right there for that fourth spot. Very interesting, I would say. So, and then I would also say the biggest winner is the top 10. I really like how the top 10 is being constructed. I've had Oregon at number 9 and Notre Dame at 10 for the last couple weeks, and I've explained why those two teams are there. Another big winner, again, is the Big 12, getting BYU and Texas Tech at 7 and 8. We'll be talking about that game a little bit later. That's a big win for the playoff rankings. And I agree with the top 6. Or top 7, I would say. I had BYU and Ole Miss flipped, but I have no problem with Ole Miss being in front of BYU. I totally understand that. So looking at this as a whole, I mean, there's a lot of winners, but those were my initial reactions. I love the rankings for the most part. Now let's get to the things I don't like. The things I don't like about the college football rankings. And we will start with Georgia Tech. How is Georgia Tech in front of Miami? Like, Georgia Tech's losses to NC State, and as of right now, Georgia Tech's best win is like probably Clemson, who's 3 and 5 at the current moment. Maybe it's Colorado. I mean, I understand they have one loss, and Miami has a loss to what we talked about as well, to SMU. But SMU has that win against Notre Dame. I wouldn't have Georgia Tech ranked that high. As you guys know, in our rankings, I don't even have Georgia Tech ranked, period. So that's one of the losers in that one. Moving on, another loser for this, or excuse me, another loss for the committee. Why is Tennessee ranked? Why are we even messing around with Tennessee? I don't understand why. I agree they have a really tough schedule. The 3 teams they lost to are really good. But why in the world is Tennessee ranked? Like, what has Tennessee done to be ranked number 25 in the college football playoff rankings? Like, other than say they lost to really good teams, like, who are their wins? Like, I'm looking at, like, there's no one above 500? Like, is their best win Arkansas? Is it Syracuse? Like, I don't know. I don't like that, I would say. So I find that very interesting right there. But I would say for the most part, I really do like these rankings. So, yeah. Playoff rankings are exactly I think the committee did a great job. A lot of people would have put Texas A&M at number 1. I'd understand if you put them number 1. I wouldn't be mad if you did that. I would totally understand that. So if the playoffs were constructed today, the top 5 conference championship teams get in. So it looks like they have Ohio State 1. They'd have them in the Big 10. Texas A&M number 2 in the SEC. BYU in the Big 12. And number 4 would be it would be Virginia at number 4. And then that number 5 for the conference champions that would get in would be Memphis, who is not currently ranked. I would put Memphis at 25 before I'd put Tennessee. If you put Memphis's resume against Tennessee's, like, what's the difference? Like, their best wins are both Arkansas. Like, honestly, that's just my opinion on that. But yeah, I really do like the committee. There's no group of 5 teams listed in there. I wouldn't go that far. I'd put Memphis in there. I think that I'd put Memphis or James Madison. James Madison's another team that I would have considered putting into those initial rankings. But my overall thoughts on the rankings, I think these are good rankings, to be honest with you. I told you my biggest winners and losers of this, but this is better than what we've got in 3 years. I was excited when they released the rankings. Like, I love our what we have here. I really liked how they valued Utah's schedule, losing the number 7 and number 8 team. I think that was really great because they honored Notre Dame for their 2 losses to Texas A&M and Miami, having them at number 10. Unless they do have that one against USC, which is better than Utah's best one, which would be Cincinnati at the point. But I don't really have a problem with that right now. So as it looks like there's 6 SEC teams in the top 12, but I'm pretty sure only 4. They'd only get 4 SEC teams. There would be 3 Big 10 teams, 2 Big 12 teams, 1 ACC team, 1 group of 5, and Notre Dame. And don't get me started. Notre Dame should be in a conference. It makes no sense to me when we're doing college football rankings why Notre Dame gets the benefit of the doubt. I agree they should be at 10 based off resume, but why is Notre Dame not in a conference? Like, can someone explain to me in today's college football? I understand the BCS era. Like, good for Notre Dame and their contract with NBC. But we are now where we have college football playoff rankings, and we're getting the 12 best teams, and Notre Dame's getting, they're just... It's rainbows and roses for the most part. They did have a really good non-conference. They're all non-conference, but the good couple games here. But I mean, the last 3 to 4 opponents, other than like USC, I mean, really, that's what we're. I don't know. That's what I would say. But I don't really have a problem with the rankings so far. I would say so. Really good, really good. I would say that's really good. So. Yeah, that's what I would say. I'm just going to check a few things on here, but let us know what you guys think. If you guys are live, if you're on Spotify, thank you guys for listening on Spotify. We are on Spotify, so if you like to commute and you want a really good podcast, it's like 20 to 25 minutes. It's just a quick podcast, gets you a quick in and out. Check out this one. We're about 20 to 25 minutes every time. So anyway, but... yeah, let's keep this rolling. So those were the rankings. Let us know in the comment section what you guys thought about the playoff rankings. Did you agree or disagree with the rankings so far? But we got to get to the next part of our show. So that was our playoff rankings. We're going to start getting into game predictions here. We have our first game. We have Tulane is going to be playing Memphis. And Memphis is a 5.5-point favorite in this game. Both teams were not ranked in the college football playoff rankings. I would say both these teams are really similar in the fact that Tulane does have 2 losses, but one is to Ole Miss. Memphis only has that 1 loss to UAB. But I would say they both have, a loss that's like UTSA and UAB are pretty similar. Tulane got throttled last week at UTSA. And Jake Retzloff got benched. It was it couldn't have got worse for that Tulane team. And then we got Memphis here, that is the top-rated group of 5 team in the college football playoffs. And we're looking at this game. Memphis with 5.5 points here. Just looking at it, I would agree with an extent with that. This game, I'm pretty sure it's on a Friday. Yep, this game is on a Friday evening. So this is where we're going to get really good. We also got college football going on right now. I forgot that there was games. Jeez, I forgot that the MAC is awesome. They have games going on Tuesday night. But anyways, going back to Tulane, and so a little game preview here. Actually, this game is Saturday night, or excuse me, this is Thursday night game. Thursday night game with Tulane and Memphis. That's really good for the sport, I would say. Really good for the sport. We can look at the ESPN analytics right here. I'm going to get that brought up here. They give Memphis 72.4% chance to win this game. You look at the biggest winners. Lewis is a really good running back from Memphis with 562. Tulane really doesn't have a rush attack. Jake Retzloff with 513 yards rushing. The quarterback. Both quarterbacks are really similar, but for the most part, a little bit turnover. prone here. This line opened up at 7.5. It's already down to 5.5 for this game. I'm going to take Memphis to win this game at home. If this game was at Tulane, I would think different. I think Summerall is a really good coach for Tulane. He's going to get a really good job in the portal coming up, but I really do think that Memphis will win this game. So I think it's going to be a fun one. And a quick reminder for you guys to know about our predictions right here. Our predictions are, if I have it correctly here, we're about 72 and 35, which is a really good record. I will take because we just take winners. We do have our best bet of the week. That is 4-0. That comes out on Thursdays. So be on the lookout for that for our best bet. We're 4-0 in those so far. Yeah. Moving on, we're going to talk about the number 2 team in the playoff rankings. Number 2, Indiana, a 15.5-point favorite against Penn State. Mendoza should be in the Heisman conversation. There is no way that he shouldn't be. And Penn State, I mean, their schedule just doesn't get easier. They played Ohio State last week. They played with Ohio State for a half, and then they got blown out the second half. And now they Indiana's going into College Station, into College Park in Pennsylvania. So how do I kind of see this game going on? Penn State, they're still playing that unexperienced quarterback with their quarterback, having season-ending injury really with Drew Aller. Really didn't like that. Penn State really just hasn't panned out, obviously. James Franklin got fired a month ago. I would say this Penn State team looks better than when James Franklin coached them earlier in the year. It just hasn't. I mean, anything that could have gone wrong for Penn State so far has gone wrong for Penn State. In Indiana, anything that could have gone right for Indiana we could flip these two teams with two different alternate universes, and we'd have this game right here. So I think Indiana wins this game. I feel really confident about Indiana winning this game. I could see them winning by 3 touchdowns in this game. But it is at Penn State, so I'll be very interested to see how Penn State reacts to a game that is home instead of being on the road this time. But they just played Ohio State last week, so I'll be very curious to see what they do with that. Moving on, we got number 5 Georgia playing Mississippi State. This game is on Saturday. We have here, this is Mississippi State coming off a win against Arkansas. They haven't won a game like that in forever, it feels like. So really good for Mississippi State. A little bit of a feel-good story after they've been really close to getting that elusive SEC win for a while. But Georgia's 7.5 going into Mississippi State. Barstool Sports is going there. I don't know why I said that, but they are going there. The ESPN Analytics give Georgia a 78% chance to win this game. Mississippi State at 21%. We look at the quarterbacks. I always like looking at Gunnar Stockton's played really well lately. And, this Mississippi State quarterback's thrown for over 2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So a little bit better. He has a little careless with the ball, but that's because he has more attempts. He has about 50 more attempts than Stockton here. Both running backs do about the same. This is going to be a pass-heavy game. Both receivers. Mississippi State has a good receiver, has over 716. Georgia's more by committee, I would say. Looking at this game opened up at 8.5. It's now down to 7.5. Georgia's coming off a game against Florida that was really close. But I think Georgia's just going to be in dogfights in the SEC. I don't think they're the kind of team that's going to blow out an SEC team. And that's okay because they find ways to win, and that's credit to culture. That's the difference between Georgia and Miami right now, honestly. Miami can't figure out how to, close games. Georgia knows how. I'm going to take Georgia to win this game. I think this game will be really fun to watch, especially this being at Mississippi State. Maybe this is their chance for Mississippi State and that coaching staff to get that elusive win on the year, something that they can take into recruiting. So I'll be definitely keeping my eyes on that part of it. But I really do like Georgia to win this game. I think this game is going to be close. I think it's going to be a dogfight just like Florida is. I think Florida, Mississippi State, they played a couple weeks ago, and yes, they were really close to each other. So they were really close to each other, I would say. So, the camera was going crazy here. But, very, very interesting. Oh, the camera's still going crazy. What the heck? Very interesting game here. So, let's move on to our next game that we have here. Our next game is, we didn't put one in there. Our next game is, all right, our next game right here. Man, I think, like I said, the two biggest winners from the college football rankings are where these two are listed here. We had number 7 BYU going to number 8 Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a 10.5 10.5 point favorite. BYU's coming off a bye week the week before that. They went and won at Iowa State in a game where the expert said it was a trap game, whatever that means. And you got Texas Tech, who also said they were going to a trap game where they won by more than 20 at Kansas State. Can someone tell me what a trap game is? I don't know. I digress. Let's get back into this. BYU has had a couple weeks to get healthy. LJ Martin in the backfield is a huge. Reports on Twitter to say he's going to be playing back as a back. He is one of probably the top 5 backs in the nation right now, I would say. Texas Tech has their quarterback back. Their backup quarterback got ACL surgery. And BYU's their leader on defense will be playing in this game as well. He was a little banged up, so BYU got healthier over the bye week, so that's really good to see here. Texas Tech, they do have some injuries. Obviously, they lost their tailback for the year during preseason, but I digress. We got Texas Tech, 10.5 point favorite. I see this game. This is going to be an intense football game. This is a turning point in the year for me, not just in the Big 12, but in college football. Whoever wins this game kind of is like a shoo-in for the college football playoff, I would say. You can almost Sharpie them in, I would say, to an extent. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but looking at both these teams right here, this is going to be a physical game. If you love smash mouth football, you need to turn into BYU and Texas Tech. So, with that being said, that's our preview. How do I see BYU and Texas Tech going down here? It's going to come down to two things. It's going to come down to who's the more physical team. Texas Tech, if you remember, played Utah, and they were the more physical team against Utah, and that really doesn't happen here for the most part. This game is in Lubbock as well. College game day is going to be there. I think Texas Tech wins this game. I think that BYU covers the 10.5. I think this is going to be a really fun game. I think it's going to be a back and forth. I would be surprised if BYU goes on the road and wins. I think BYU is that good, to be honest with you. Beating Texas Tech on the road, it would be a tough ask, but BYU is coming off a bye week. They have a really good defensive coordinator in Jay Hill. He's really good with his games. They have Aaron, their offensive coordinator, as well. So Sataki should be in the both these coaches, and Joey McGuire should be in the Coach of the Year conversation, in my opinion. If they're not, I don't know what we're doing for Coach of the Year. So be very interested in both these programs here. So that's what I would say. I'm going to take Texas Tech to win this game, but I think BYU is going to keep it close. 10.5 is a lot of points. I like BYU keeping this close, even on the road. I think they're that good. I think BYU and Texas Tech are legit playoff teams. Moving on. We're going to talk about this game a little bit here. We have number 23, Washington, in the college playoff rankings. They're not ranked in the AP rankings, if I remember right. I don't know why they're not. They're playing Wisconsin. You got to give Wisconsin props. Last time we saw Wisconsin, they played with Oregon 21-7. Washington, they beat Illinois. They've beat some other teams as well. They do have that loss to Michigan and Ohio State, those two losses right there. But I think 23 in the college football rankings is a good spot for Washington, I would say. How do I see this game going down? I think Washington, actually, they win this game and probably cover. Obviously, I don't do spreads on here, but I think I'm just saying that because I think Washington wins this by 2 touchdowns. I don't see how Wisconsin keeps that. I think Washington might be a better team than Oregon. Might be a hot take. I'm not saying they are. I'm excited for Washington and Oregon at the end of the year, how those two teams match up. We'll be very interested in that game, I would say. But I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open in this game. Wisconsin might keep it close. I have no idea what the coaching situation is at Wisconsin. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea what it looks like. I don't know. I don't know how long Luke Fickell, I don't know how long he's going to be at Wisconsin. It sounded like the AD or president put out that message a couple weeks ago where it sounds like he's going to be here longer than what. I don't know what it is. So just wanted to cover this game real quick. We'll also be talking about this game on the Upset Alert Meter on Thursday. With that being said, we go live on YouTube for our live show here. For all of us live or on Spotify on Sunday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night. So we have all those great things for you guys. Make sure you guys check us out 7 p.m. Mountain Time, or check us out on demand on Spotify, so you guys can get all those good games going. So with that being said, we got our last game of the night, Navy and playing Notre Dame. This game is always very interesting. Navy, we picked them to beat. That was like the one game we missed last week. We picked Navy to beat North Texas. They did not do that. I had Navy ranked. Sadly, they are not ranked this week. And then we got number 10, Notre Dame, which I don't think they really like their playoff ranking, but that's what I agree. I think Notre Dame should be number 10 right now. I don't see them being any higher than what they are. I like this game as always played. I think it's a great game. Navy, they have a chance, to maybe make some noise against Notre Dame. But I'm going to take Notre Dame to win this game. I think that Notre Dame is going just to boat race Navy. Notre Dame knows they have to win out to make the playoffs. Like, they are not going to get in as a 3-loss team, and they know that. They have to win out. They're going to have to beat Pitt, who was ranked in the college football playoffs at number 24, I believe. So, I mean, Notre Dame can pick up another ranked win. It's definitely going to help the resume out, I would say. So, we'll be very interested in that. So, with that being said, that's our full show. Playoff reaction, if you guys missed that, if you guys are just tuning in, coming from X or TikTok, where I just put out that message that we are live, go to the front part of this. We'll also be posting this live right after as well. So, a lot of great things in college football going on. We are in November. We get our playoff rankings that came out today. We got a great slate on Saturday. We'll be talking about the rest of the games we didn't cover today on Thursday. So there's definitely some games I'll be looking forward to be talking to. We got some ACC games we need to talk about as well. So with that being said, that is our live show. Thanks for everyone that's tuned in, however you're tuned in. And go check out our TikTok. That's where we are most active right now on TikTok. We're almost to 15,000 on TikTok. So check that out. And with that being said, have a great night, guys, and we'll see you guys back here Thursday at 7 p.m.